Okay, welcome everybody. I'd like to declare this additional meeting of Council open at 5:30 p.m. tonight, 26th of October. My name is Peter Harriott. I'm the CEO of Greater Shepparton City Council. I'll just do some preamble. Section 11 of our governance rules gives guidance in relation to tonight's additional meeting, and that is for the election of the Mayor and Deputy Mayor. The CEO shall facilitate the election of the Mayor in accordance with the provisions of the Act and the governance rules, convene a council meeting in accordance with the Act and elect a Mayor, chair the meeting until the Mayor is elected, have no voting rights, and the agenda for the council meeting is to deal with the election of the Mayor and may also include the adoption of mayoral position description. We have a statement of expectations and deal with the position of a Deputy Mayor. That is on the agenda as well. So without further ado, we'll go to item 1 on the agenda, and I'll ask Councillor James to do a welcome to country.
Thank you, Peter, and my fellow councillors. Firstly, I pay my respects to our ancestors. I acknowledge our elders, both past, present and emerging. I would like to acknowledge the Yorta Nations and all its people whose land we meet on today. So on behalf of the Elders Council, the 16 family groups and the 8 respected tribes who proudly share in the status of traditional owners of this land, I say a very warm welcome to this wonderful land and country and waterways here in the Goulburn Valley. So thank you, Peter.
Thank you, Councillor James. And I would like to do the acknowledgement now. We, Greater Shepparton City Council, acknowledge the Yorta peoples of the land which now comprises Greater Shepparton. We pay our respects to their tribal elders, we celebrate their continuing culture, and we acknowledge the memory of their ancestors. Item 3 is a privacy notice. This public meeting is being streamed live via our Facebook page and made available for public access on our website along with the official minutes of the meeting. It is a virtual meeting tonight, and this is the first time I believe we've done a mayoral election this way, and I'm sure it's going to go smoothly. Item 4 are our governance principles, and they're listed 1 to 9 in the agenda. I won't go through those. Item 5 is apologies, and I have nil received, and I have 9 councillors in front of me, so that's all good. Item 6 is the declaration of conflict of interest. Would any councillor like to declare a conflict of interest? No? Thank you. Right, we proceed to item 7.1, Councillor's Statement of Expectations for the role of Mayor of Greater Shepparton City Council. There is a recommendation on page 7. Would a councillor like to move a motion, please? Councillor Dobson.
Thank you, Mr. Harriott. I'll move that the council re-adopt the councillor's statement of expectations for the role of Mayor of Greater Shepparton City Council as attached to this report.
Thank you. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Spinks, thank you. Councillor Dobson, would you like to speak to that motion?
No, I don't think at this time there's any need for me to take it any further.
Okay. Councillor Spinks?
No, thank you.
Does any councillor wish to object to the motion? Any further councillor wish to speak to the motion? If not, I'll put it to the vote. For those in favour? Thank you. That motion is passed unopposed. Carried unopposed. We go to item 7.2 on page 10, the election of the Mayor. And the first item here relates to the term. There is a recommendation on page 10. Would a councillor like to move a motion in relation to that recommendation? Councillor Summer. You're on mute, Councillor Summer.
Sorry, Mr. Harriet. I'll move that the mayoral term be set for a period of 1 year.
Thank you. And do I have a seconder? Councillor Brophy. Councillor Summer, would you like to speak to that motion?
No, thank you, Mr. Harriet.
Councillor Brophy.
No, thank you, Mr. Harriet.
Does any councillor oppose wish to speak against that motion? Any further councillor wish to speak for the motion? I'll put it to the vote. Those in favour? Thank you. Motion carried unopposed. We now go to the second part of 7.2, election of mayor. And this is where I call for nominations for the position of mayor. So, would any councillor wish to nominate another councillor for the position of mayor? Councillor Summer.
Thank you, Mr. Harriet. I'm very happy to nominate Councillor Kim O'Keefe for her outstanding community contribution over a difficult 12 months, and I thank her for the time she's spent so far.
Thank you, Councillor Summer. Councillor Keith, do you accept that nomination?
Yes, I do. Thank you. And thank you, Councillor Summer, for the nomination.
Thank you. Are there any further nominations? Councillor Spinks.
Thank you, Mr. Harriet. I would like to nominate Councillor Seema Abdullah for the role of mayor.
Thank you. Councillor Abdullah, do you accept that nomination?
Yes, I do. Thank you, Councillor Spinks.
Okay. Are there any further nominations? No? Thank you. So we have 2 nominations, and now we have the opportunity for each nominee to speak for 5 minutes. We do this in order of a nomination, so I'll call upon Councillor O'Keefe to speak for up to 5 minutes.
Thank you very much, CEO Peter Harriet. Good evening, everyone, and good evening to everyone that's watching. It's an incredibly important time for our council, and obviously the election of mayor is one of those really important decisions. I would like to actually begin, though, by saying I'm very supportive of new councillors putting their hand up for mayor, and I'm hoping in the future that will absolutely continue. We did have a change this last 10 days, and obviously that changed my thinking in where I would be positioned this next 12 months. But when this opportunity has opened up again, it was very important for me to see what we are doing to be continued and to continue the momentum, particularly when we come out of the 2021 year that we have just had, and prior to that with the pandemic and the impact. There's never been a year more challenging or a more important time to have a caring, supportive and strong leadership, not only councillors, but also everyone within our community to be there for each other. I have supported our community wherever I could during such an incredibly challenging time. I've worked really hard and I've been present, and I think that's so important, to be on the ground among the people when it's been COVID safe to do so. I've connected to the community and I've been really committed, I believe, to the role. It's been a year like no other, as I have said, and the experience has been extraordinary. And I must say, there's been no other place I would rather be than the mayor of my region and my city during such a challenging time. So I have been able to be there and to be out in the community doing all that needs to be done. It was an extraordinary experience, and one that I said I'll certainly always remember, but so proud that I could have been there for the community. I want to be there as the mayor to support you into the future, and particularly this next 12 months, because there's still so much more that we need to do as we head into the road of recovery. There's so much work as a council, my fellow councillors, and as a community that we all need to do together. But I believe I'm the right person. I've got the passion, I've got the enthusiasm, the commitment, and as you all know, I absolutely love the role. So my care and compassion and commitment to the community won't change. My dedication will stay the same. I still have that enthusiasm. And I think it's such a wonderful opportunity for me to have this opportunity again. But we do need a mayor who will keep Greater Shepparton well presented to ensure that we get the investment for our region. And we deserve, just like other parts of Victoria, regional Victoria, we need to have those opportunities. And as we head into the election coming up, it's such an important time. As you are aware, I'm the current chair and spokesperson for Regional Cities Victoria, and this has been a first for Greater Shepparton. This position is held above 10 other regional cities, including Ballarat, Geelong and Bendigo, who often get the chair position. So it's been a wonderful opportunity for our region. As the chair, I've built very strong connections and positive relationships with ministers and others, putting Greater Shepparton front and centre, and that's where we need to be. in fact, leading the 10 other regional cities, and well and truly on the map. We need to have a loud voice, we need to have a strong voice, and this was another one of those opportunities. I thank Peter Harriet because it has been extra work for me to be in the chair position of Regional Cities Victoria, because we both fortnightly sit in on meetings. So it's extra workload, but it's what we need to do. We put our hand up for the opportunities that come our way, and we should always do that for the people of our community. So we must embrace the opportunities, as I said, for our region, and ensure that we are giving our region the best possible opportunities for investment and funding outcomes, but also making sure that our community get all the things that they deserve. And that does come back often to funding and investment in the Greater Shepparton region. I have a very good opportunity of getting that chair position again for the next year, and in the mayoral position, it gives me, as I said, that opportunity. So it would be disappointing if we missed out on that second year of being chair of Regional Cities Victoria, and maximising the opportunities for our region. Continuity is crucial. We need to continue what we're doing at this time. We don't need stop and start, and we don't want to have to start up again. We must maintain the momentum and build on what is already being achieved, and so much more. I'm very passionate, as you know, about the Greater Shepparton region. I will always be a very strong voice for our people and our community. And I feel I have done a really good job this past year in achieving some of those goals, and I'm proud of that. But there's so much more to be done, and so many more carrots hanging down that we can actually grab and really run with to make things so much bigger, better and brighter for the Greater Shepparton community. So I'm very proud to be part of such a wonderful team of councillors. It's been a great first year, and as I said, I'm really excited to see that some of them also have the passion, you know, and the commitment to also put their hand up for leadership roles, and I take my hat off to them and I congratulate them for wanting to do that. So as we move forward, I think, you know, we need to really look at the opportunities, as I've said. We look at the way we come out of COVID-19. There's so much more we need to do. We need to support our community. And I believe, you know, I've been there during the really tough time, as we all have, but I want to be there during recovery as we come out of COVID. I think it's such an important time for business. It's an important time for our whole community, and we need strong, compassionate leadership. And I want to finish the job that I've started, which was being there during COVID, and I want to be there during recovery. So I really ask my fellow councillors to support me. I'm one of 9, we are a team.
Councillor Keith, that's your 5 minutes.
Thank you very much. I think I've finished up there anyway. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll now ask Councillor Abdullah to speak for up to 5 minutes.
Thanks very much, Mr. Harriet. Good evening, everyone. I would like to briefly outline why I'm contesting for the post of mayor. In the last 5 years, I have performed the role of a councillor with utmost diligence, genuine passion for my region and community, and respect for diversity of ideas. The last 12 months have laid a solid foundation of positive relationships among councillors and the executive leadership team. We are so fortunate that the current group of councillors bring to the table a strong leadership capability, their unique perspectives, and representation of diverse backgrounds that is reflective of our community. Among this group, we have many capable, community-driven, and passionate individuals. Their competence and capability to be a mayor cannot and should not be underestimated. As we emerge from the current wave of COVID-19 pandemic, Council needs to swiftly respond to various needs of our community. This includes social, economic, health, and well-being support, and making sure that no one gets left behind. Recognition of First Nations history and advancement on the Reconciliation Action Plan. Water security for our region, sports and other community facilities, not only in Shepparton, Mooroopna, and Tatura, but also in small towns. Environment sustainability, preparation for opportunities and challenges posed by climate emergency, education, transport, and employment, just to name a few. As the community emerges from COVID-19 restrictions, community and council need a fresh, open, and inclusive approach to enable all to prosper and reach their full potentials. With my previous experience of mayor, I have the confidence, ambition, and ability to lead the council and advocate strongly for my community's needs at different levels of government. I will represent council in a responsible, professional, and considerate manner if elected. As mayor, I will also have my focus on enabling fellow councillors to grow in their roles and develop skills to take on senior leadership opportunities. So for instance, even though mayor is the media spokesperson for council, if elected, I will be keen to share media opportunities with other councillors so that it helps give them the community profile. Because to me, effective leadership involves creating trust, cultivating respect, and also letting other aspiring leaders shine. Another point that I want to make is that Greater Shepparton community is culturally and ethnically diverse. It wishes to see this diversity reflected in council leadership. And for this, a change of top leadership should be welcomed, as it would give a strong message to the community that diversity in all forms, whether age, culture, ethnicity, gender, etc., is supported and encouraged at all levels of council leadership. If elected, I will lead the community with a united, positive, and constructive approach. I have always devoted 100% of my efforts and energy to my role as a councillor and previously as mayor, and I can assure you that this effort will continue. In closing, I want to reiterate that my decision to run for mayor's role is to demonstrate the principles that I have narrated earlier and my desire for change. In future, I hope to see one of the first-term councillors take on the mayor's role and would be very happy to support their aspirations. For now, I seek your support for the mayoral election, and I look forward to working together with my fellow councillors, the executive leadership team, and council staff to serve the Greater Shepparton community. Thank you very much for your attention. Thanks.
Thank you, Councillor Abdullah. We now go to vote. We vote by the raising of councillors' hands, and we go in order of nominations. So I'm going to start with Councillor O'Keefe and ask for those councillors who support Councillor O'Keefe to raise your hand. Thank you. Could I ask those councillors in support of Councillor Abdullah to raise their hands? Thank you. Majority of 5 is required. We do have a majority of 5, and I declare Councillor O'Keefe duly elected as mayor for the next 12 months. Congratulations, Kim.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody.
Virtual clap. Very good. Councillor O'Keefe, would you like to say a few words?
Thank you very much, and thank you, everyone. I'd just like to thank Councillor Abdullah also for putting a hand up. It's an amazing opportunity for both of us, and it's an important role, as we both know. So I really acknowledge your willingness to want to also be mayor again for another year. I'm really delighted to have been re-elected as the mayor of Greater Shepparton for another term. You all know how much I love the role and being there for the community. I would also like to thank everyone that's been involved in supporting me, particularly this last year in the mayoral role during such a challenging time. And of course, that's thank you to Peter, Harriet, the staff, our exec team. But I must say a very strong thank you to my PA. You know, we've had an incredible busy time, and when you have someone back to you like that, it's a person that no one sees, but she has supported me incredibly. So thank you to Maz for the hard work you not just do for me, but for the community. But thank you, councillors, for all your dedication as well and support this past year. I mean, it's been a very, very busy year, and for the new councillors, what an extraordinary year to come in on. But we have had such a great connection already and settled in so well, and I'm really proud, you know, of the hard work, commitment, dedication you have all done in such a challenging year, and having to do things so differently. You know, at times I feel quite sorry for us that we can't be face to face. We can't do the normal things in the community as councillors. We have had some opening and close times. We've got to do that, but it has certainly been a very different year. But in saying that, I've still had a very busy year, and there has been other opportunities that you've seen me embrace and be part of. So I'm really excited to think that I can continue that work and that aspiration. It is a very big year ahead as we start to get our lives back, to normal and get our community back on their feet. It's a big job ahead, but we are a strong, supportive and resilient community. And I know we will work together to support each other and also to support the community. So I depend on you, my fellow councillors, to really help me this next year ahead. And I know it takes all of us to get the job done. So it's, yes, you're the face of the council, you're the mayor, but you are one of 9, and we are all equally valued. And I value each of you for the contribution that I know you will make and the support that I know you will all give to me. So I certainly look very forward, to much more positive things ahead for our community. But I'm really, really delighted that I'm going to be there during COVID recovery and the many more things that come our way this next year. 2 elections coming up, incredible opportunities, incredible times for us to really, really lobby for our region. As I said in my speech earlier, in my address, let's keep our voice loud and strong, and let's work really hard. That's what we're elected to do. But the opportunities are there, and we have to just keep making sure that we get those opportunities within our region and have the right representation, have the right people, have the right leaders, have the right councillors, have the right people that can actually make that happen. I'm really proud again to be the Mayor of Greater Shepparton, and I thank you so much for giving me the opportunity.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor O'Keefe. Now, I'd ask you to take over from item 7.3 on the agenda, the election of the Deputy Mayor.
Thank you very much. Yes, on page 12, we have a recommendation for the election of Deputy Mayor. Would a council like to move a motion, please? Item 7.3. Councillor Dobson, you're on mute.
I'll be glad when we're face to face. I move that the council, 1, elect a deputy mayor for the mayoral term, and 2, if during the mayoral term there is a vacancy in the office of the mayor, or the mayor is absent, incapable of acting, or refusing to act, then provided the deputy mayor is available, the council hereby appoints the deputy mayor to be the acting mayor in accordance with section 20B /1 of the Local Government Act 2020.
Thank you very much. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Spinks. Councillor Dobson, would you like to speak to the motion?
No, thank you, Mayor.
Councillor Spinks, would you like to speak to the motion?
No, thank you.
Would any council wish to speak against the motion? Would any council wish to speak for the motion? We will now go to the vote. All those in favour? Motion carried, unopposed. Councillors, we now come to the election of the Deputy Mayor. I now call for nominations. Councillor James.
Thank you, Mayor O'Keefe. Yes, I'd like to now nominate Councillor Anthony Brophy, if he would accept the nomination.
Councillor Brophy, do you accept that nomination?
Yes, thank you, Mayor O'Keefe, and thank you very much, Councillor James, for the nomination.
Do we have any other nominations? No. So I would like to declare duly elected as our Deputy Mayor, Councillor Anthony Brophy. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Now I invite Councillor Brophy to make an address speech.
Thank you very much, Mayor O'Keefe. Well, humbled, honoured and pretty excited, actually. Thank you, fellow councillors, for your faith invested in me and the support shown to me, not only as being voted the Deputy Mayor, but also throughout my first year whilst on council. To Rob Priestley, who was the Deputy Mayor over the last 12 months, or 11 months, Rob has his sights set on serving the community at a different level of government. His smarts, his considered approach to challenges sets a consistent tone, and I wish him luck with his endeavours in the as the federal election approaches. As Mayor O'Keefe, Kim and I go an awful long way back. I think when we began primary school together, but particularly in the last 6 years, we've worked very close together on a number of things, and particularly in the last year. So I'm very much looking forward to working with Kim. You get nobody that's more committed to the community in terms of being out on the ground with food share, people supporting people, the issue of homelessness, and a number of other organisations. of which you're associated with, and you being part of that, you're no better off. The organisations are so better off by your standing in that. Commiserations to Councillor Seema Abdullah. Thank you for putting your hand up. It's always very courageous to do that, and in any level of government, and you're very well respected as well. Thank you too to the many people, be it family or friends, who have thrown their support behind me. I am truly grateful, along with the council staff, be it the executive leadership or the many talented staff whose briefings, follow-ups and service to the community we are indebted to. Now, where to go from here? The vision needs to be very clear. Leadership is what we're actually marked against, and there are a lot of challenges ahead for us. Water sustainability, making sure we've got domestic, agricultural and industrial water here in the region, in Greater Shepparton. The momentum is finally building in regards to rail. That's really good. Advocacy, whether it be for the bypass or for a number of other projects that we've got on the go. Obviously, it's been mentioned, the COVID recovery, particularly for businesses. There will be an increased demand on housing, so that's going to cause some headaches for a lot of our planners, our town planners and councillors over the coming years. Projects need to be funded, projects need to be completed. There are plans to roll out a number of our actions on plans that we've put together. Indigenous recognition at a number of levels needs to be done as well, and we're moving in that particular path as well. Finally, events will be brought back into the community. We also need to make sure that over the next 12 months, when we can get out there, we get out to those small towns that need attention and to be listened to as well. Bigger issues like climate change, a new sports stadium, and not to ever forget the 3 R's of roads, rates and rubbish. We need to make sure that we cover those. But it is an exciting year ahead with the crowds returning to the football, the netball, the soccer, agricultural shows, events, concerts, people finally going able to visit SAM, more people accessing the Australian Botanical Gardens, cycling paths, bridges, so much to do. The public demand, the public out there demand the best practice. They demand the best professionalism. They demand for us to be present, and there is an expectation that we will deliver, and that we will. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Brophy. Just prior to closing the meeting, it would be remiss of me not to thank my deputy. Apologies, Rob. Thank you so much to my Deputy Mayor, Rob Priestley. This past year has been a big one, and you've been an incredible support to me. It was in my speech, but my speech sort of went sideways. So, yeah, I just wanted to acknowledge your efforts and support for me as well. There's many times where you've had to back me up, and I appreciate that. And I very much look forward to my new Deputy Mayor, Councillor Brophy. So on that note, I declare the council meeting closed at 5 minutes to 6. Thank you, everyone.
Cool.